Well, good morning. It's 1:11 a.m. I went to bed last night at 8:30, and I woke up at 11:30. I got a 3 hours sleep, and finally got out of bed almost midnight, and decided I'm going to do a video before I try to go back to bed and get more sleep. Anyway, the title for today's, which is actually uh, the talk for the 22nd, Tuesday, July 22nd. I promise to tell my truth, authentically, and it's overwhelming. I cannot even say what lies in front of me. Few would believe it. I can hardly believe it myself. Pinch me. Here I am, a nobody, a man with a vision, a mission impossible. I wanted to help co-create a better world, a world where the insanity ceases and humans remember who we are, powerful creators. I have before me an opportunity of a lifetime. If they are telling me the truth, I am being asked by the most powerful people in the world, by means of wealth, to become the voice of the dragons. Is this real? I ask myself, how do you feel, Ron? Scared and excited, as if I could burst into tears. In fact, that is what is happening as I write this. Stay tuned. Watch as the mystery unfolds. Indeed, I wrote that before I went to bed last night. And I was feeling a lot of emotion. In fact, for over a week now, for about a week and a half, I have been in a very emotional space, actually somewhat depressed because of what happened in my personal life in regard to a couple of ladies, which I'm not going to go into the details of that. So if you think that that's where I'm going and want to turn it off, just hang on a second, because that's not where I'm going. But I was floored by what happened in those, and especially the one instance. And I've been doing a lot of beating myself up for having believed that I could find what I'm looking for from a married woman. That was pretty far-fetched, that I could be that stupid. And yes, I opened myself up. Yes, I was willing. And I've been willing all along, for a long time, since I've been doing these videos. I've been willing to follow the path where it leads me. Around the time that I began doing videos in January 2011, I was introduced to RUSA, the Restore America plan, basically. RUSA, the Republic for the United States of America, with Tim Turner and crew. And I became, the month later, in February 2011, I became Secretary of State for the Florida Republic. And I stayed active in that up until October, November 2012. Of course, Tim Turner was arrested in September 2012. And he's serving time in jail, federal prison now. I think he was set up by the government. But I got to connect with a whole bunch of visionaries at that time. And then in January 2013, I came across the OPPT and the filings by Heather Tucci-Jarraf, foreclosing on the corporations that had been defrauding the whole world, operating a human slavery system, extorting wealth and money from the people at the expense of humanity, at the expense of life on the planet. This criminal system was foreclosed upon by the OPPT, and I was very, very active for several months in listening to Lisa and others twice a week of what's going on with the OPPT, but it had no authority to actually enforce the foreclosure. There was no teeth in it. And then I was invited in July 2013 to become part of Swiss Indo. And I got to, again, as I had been doing all along, connecting with visionaries, connecting with visionaries, connecting with visionaries. And when I interviewed Mr. Sugi the second time, and he said that he had given vouchers to the IRS in the trillions of dollars, I mean, I just almost fell through the floor. I mean, we had been working to try to undermine and stop the activities of this criminal cabal, of which the IRS is a major player. And here, this visionary man that I loved and respected just had told me that he was giving vouchers to the very criminals that had been trying to that we had been trying to stop their criminality, or at least provide an alternative so that people could be enriched and empowered. And it was shortly after that interview that I was contacted by the Dragon family. And if those of you that have been following since then know that the Dragon family has been very, very much a part of my life. I've actually talked to a few of the people that are in that family, but to the ambassador almost every single day. And the ambassador and I have become fairly good friends over this period of time. Sometimes we talk 2 or 3 times in a single day. And it's just amazing, some of the things that he has shared with me, and some of them I cannot share yet publicly. And it's not because we're trying to be secretive, but we still live in a dangerous world where there are people who want to continue the fraud, want to continue the extortion, want to continue the human slavery. There are still people, and they are also powerful people in terms of weapons. Now, if it was up to me and I had extraterrestrial connections, I would simply turn the weapons off. I know they have the ability to do that with atomic missiles, for example. I've heard the testimony of people that were on the military bases at Minot Air Force Base in South Dakota, where they had the missile silos and the UFOs flew over. Of course, that's some time ago. But if they had the technology then, they have even better technology now, because that's how technology is. It's a quantum leap in technological advancement going on the planet, much of it being withheld from the people, which is part of what I'm about. I want to restore people's wealth to them, to us, so that we can have some of these technologies released to benefit us instead of used for the military purposes. But anyway, the Dragon family, like Swiss Indo, has to keep certain things under wraps, under cover, until it's safe to say what needs to be said, to reveal what needs to be revealed, because there are certain powerful people that may not like it. Now, I have not withheld at all from speaking my mind and speaking what I know. Sometimes I've been wrong because I've received bad information. I've done the best that I could. And as I face what is presented before me, to me, the things that are being laid out, the path that I'm being laid out to walk the rest of this year, I mean, it's just an overwhelming feeling. And I feel a sense of inadequacy, of why me, of am I up for the challenge? I mean, look at me. I can't even create a healthy relationship. That's what she told me. And it's true. I've not been able to do what that matters to me a lot. A lot. I'm a Libra man. Relationships are critical for me. And I've not been able to do that. And here, my vision of helping to create a better world for everybody may be coming true. As I said in the blurb, I'm not yet rubbing elbows, but before the end of the summer this year, I will likely be rubbing elbows with some very powerful dragons in human form. People that control the majority of the collateral accounts. Yes, in China. I've never been to China. I've never been out of North America. I think the Bahamas would be considered North America. That's the only time that I've been out of the United States and Canada. I've been to 35 or 36 states and 3 provinces of Canada. Let's see, Ontario, Quebec, and New Brunswick. Yeah, 3. And the Bahamas. And I've been to 35 or 36 states in the United States. But I've never been to Europe, Africa, Asia, Latin America. Never once. And laid out before me is the possibility of traveling a lot to a lot of places, meeting a lot of people, including some people that are pretty high-ranking in the establishment. And that's a scary thing. I mean, these are people that have been running the world, and they're being given an opportunity to repent, to start coming clean and serving humanity instead of serving the system that allowed them to get away with murder and all sorts of crimes against humanity and against life itself. Is such a transformation even possible? Many would say no, that this element cannot be transformed. Well, I'm sorry. I still believe that transformation is possible for any human, for any being can make a decision to turn 180 degrees and go in the opposite direction. That's what repentance really is. It's going in the opposite direction. It's doing an about face and marching the other way. Instead of living with lies, it's about embracing the truth. And truth is a threatening thing to people that want to live lies. That's why there's a need for security. You know, I wish to someday live in a world where there's no such thing as global immunity. There's no such thing as someone that has the right to lie and the right to kill and the right to steal. Such rights are insane. There is no right to do any of those things. There's only wrong to do those things. Those things are immoral, unethical, and everyone knows in his or her heart, if presented the truth, they know that the things that I've just mentioned are wrong. They are universal law. Common law is built on that, and it's common sense that the rights are unalienable, that they are granted by our Creator, and they are birth rights, just because we were born. No other reason, just because we were born. We are children of God. And I will continue to be as authentic as I can be as these things unfold before me, as these changes happen. Now, the ambassador tells me that once I start playing the role that I came here to play, women are going to come out all over the place, because I'm not going to be seen as a nobody anymore, just a talking head on the internet doing daily videos for 3.5+ years. I'm not going to be seen like that. I'm not going to be poor. And I don't know, because we've never talked money. But I will be helping influence leaders around the world. As Mr. Sugi appointed me an advisor to the World Council, I take that role seriously. I will sort of be like an ambassador myself to the Dragon family in the weeks ahead. I will have that role according to what I've been told. Am I deceived? As I said, I've learned to build quite a trust in the ambassador. He's quite an individual. He's been through a lot. He will perhaps share his story, more of his story at some time in the future. It's not up to me to share his story. But one of the things that he told me about the dragons is that they are very humble. And why are they humble? Why was the emperor, the last emperor of China humbled. It was because of communism. It was because of Mao. Okay? Now, Mao didn't kill the emperor, but the emperor was not allowed to live in the ivory tower on a pedestal anymore. He had to live like the common people. So the dragons in China learned humility. And learning humility, they got in touch with humanity, their own humanity. And when you get in touch with your own humanity, you automatically get in touch with the humanity of life itself, the humanity on the planet. And that's why I believe that the dragon family in China sincerely wants to do the right thing for humanity, because they were demoted and brought down and out of their ivory towers. I mean, I was told that the emperor, when he was first released, couldn't tie his own shoes because he had always had servants do that for him. That was the extent. And when I talk to the historian, I'm sure more things will be revealed. But that was the extent of how out of touch some of the elite were. Some of the people that controlled the gold and the silver and the assets of the world. And that control is in Asia. It is not in North America, it is not in Europe, it's in Asia. So the dragon families now have the opportunity to turn everything around. And is it scary? Yes, because these are the same people that used to fund the wars on behalf of the kings and the leaders in the Western world, in the Illuminati. They were the ones that gave their approval because they weren't in touch with their own humanity. That's changed because of communism. So there's a blessing to the communist dictatorship in China. I want you to hear that, and I want you to see that. There's lots of things happening in the world, and I've only so far got an inkling of what is coming in my own life. I'm taking the chance because I know there are people that would want to kill me. I know that. And yet, I'm either going to be protected or I'm not going to be protected. I'm still going to be authentic and tell my truth. I'm not going to let anybody control me, at least not knowing that I'm being controlled. So, thank you for standing with me and listening and staying tuned to what is going to unfold as I bring you the story of the transformation of Ron Van Dyke, but more than that, it's the transformation of humanity. It's my truth, and that's my goal, a world that works for everyone. Thank you for listening.